Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today's your episode 130 something. I know it's once a month thing. Anyway, so let's talk about being competitive. I came across this video on YouTube. It's an interview between Jennifer Lawrence and I think it's a New Yorker. I forgot. I actually took a voice memo about this because I was very inspired by what she said in the interview. She was talking about feeling competitive. I think she was asked about whether feeling competitive in this industry. Of course, it's a very competitive industry. And then she said, no, never. And of course, I don't know if it's really an authentic answer from her or she's just saying that for the show. But she gave a very shocking to me, an explanation to why she never feels competitive. She says she always feels secure when she grew up. She never feel like she have to compete for something if she deserves it. And she never feels compared to someone or something when she's doing something, when she's doing her job or anything like that. And I start to think about myself. Now, of course, if you have a similar experience or background, you probably feel the same way that we always feel very competitive when it comes to certain things, jobs, school, and even relationship. We need to fight, we need to compete, we need to be the best. And I think sometimes that can cause imposter syndrome as well. And other things like you're not confident. And then even the topic I talked before, inferiority, you just feel you're not good enough. Many different situations, and you're a daughter, you will never be the best daughter because there are always better daughters out there. And you're a student, but you're not the best student because there are better students out there as well. And when you become a mom or any role in a social relationship, and then you realize that you're never good enough, you always feel like you need to do more to be the better one. I think that's competitive and compared to someone else. I never felt secured growing up because I always worried that someone's gonna steal my spot, someone gonna take my stuff, and if I take a pause, and if I don't study hard, and of course I will lose my first place. And if I don't fight hard, then I'm not gonna get to the spot I want. And if I don't speak up for myself, then I'm going to lose an opportunity. And of course, I'm not saying that speaking up or fighting for the spot you want is a bad thing. When I'm trying to say that, I think we wanted part of that to be our motive that will push us go further. But we don't want it too much, or we don't want it everywhere, anytime, that when we needed to take a break. And this is why we're so afraid of taking a break, because if we take a break, we lose, right? And that's the sense of being in this society they have created for us. Sometimes in certain situations, you don't have to be competitive, but you feel like you want to, and you start to sabotage other people or badmouth other people just because you don't want them to do better than you. Which, even if they do better than you, it doesn't hurt you that bad. But I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I remembered a while ago when I was the only Chinese student in my program. I was so proud of myself because I'm the best, right? And then later on, there are a few joining that program from China, and they're wonderful, they're amazing. But I felt threatened. I feel like now I've lost the title of the only one, and then they're my competitors, which is really funny now thinking back. Is we're never competitors. We should be supporters to each other. And we didn't even study at the same time, but I still felt threatened because I lost the title of it, the only one. That's because I never felt secured. If I told my parents that I was the only Chinese student or I was the only international student of my supervisor, and I felt entitled, I feel a sense of privilege. And because, well, the only one, right? And then my parents will be proud of myself. Now you have two more after you, and then you lose that, and nothing special about you anymore, and you feel you've lost the battle. But that's because how I grew up. I grew up in an environment that I had to be the special one, had to be the best one. If not, then I'm not good at all. There's no in the middle. I'm scared of taking a break because taking a break means I'm doing nothing. Doing nothing means I'm going backwards. Those kind of things have triggered my anxiety for a very long time. And now I don't really have that. Well, I cannot say I already got rid of it, but you never know, right? So far, I feel like at work, I'm not the only Chinese teacher there. I've had my colleagues with me. I really like them. I feel a sense of belonging because now we have our own people. I try my best to help them. I couldn't imagine if this has happened 10 years ago. I could not imagine myself being supportive like that. You can say it's a sense of jealousy or anything. I would feel like I had to maintain the only one title for myself so I can keep the specialness. And I think if you still have the feeling right now, this is a great way to help yourself overcome or be calm and be yourself is realize that you don't have to compete. The prerequisition before I don't have to compete is you have to feel secure. But how do you feel secure? If you grew up like me and then your parents constantly compare you with someone else, or at school you have to beat everybody to be the first one to do certain things, it's going to be very difficult for you to get rid of the sense of insecurity. So my trick, now I realize my trick is in the field, you keep doing what you're doing, focus on what you're doing, and then do it to the extreme. And do it to the point that you don't feel it matters if you have to compete or not. Why? It's a sense of love, a passion. You love it, you like it, you do it because it's your thing. And another very simple example will be reading books. When I first started reading English books, I feel it was such a special thing. And especially when I was able to read really fast and how many books I've done a year, things like that, I feel like no one can beat me. And because that's my thing. And then after that, I saw a few people, and then they were able to do more with a shorter time. And right away, I felt very beat up. And then I lost interest in reading books because, well, there's no point and I can't even beat them. Why would I do that? So lose the purpose of doing certain things and purely enjoy that. Well, of course, it's easier said than done. But if you can find even just a simple thing, if you can do it and you don't worry about the results, that will create a sense of feeling for you instead of feeling for the results. For example, I've mentioned this many times, playing tennis or running or swimming. I think tennis is another thing that you might need equipment and people and a place to play with that. But I think one thing I really learned is from running. I've been running from first time when I run, I can only run a minute and I start to have cramps and I could never run. And I told myself I would never be able to run for a distance. And after that, I was watching videos. I was doing step by step, literally step by step, from a minute to 5 minutes to 10 minutes to now. I can run 5K nonstop. And then I'm now working on extending the distance instead of working on nonstop. I never compare myself to someone else because I know I'm the beginner. What I can do is to overcome what I have now and to become a better of myself. And because of running, I have grown a very healthy sense of mindset. That is, if I can beat myself last time, then I am very successful. Instead of thinking about, oh, I'm going to outrun someone else, I would never outrun someone who is very experienced, right? That years of experience you can never beat. So don't compare yourself with people. Back to my work, I've been mentors for TESOL students who want to become teachers. Sometimes I observe them, give feedback. Sometimes they observe me. And then what they say is, I can never be like you. And of course, it gave me a sense of pride. I feel, well, of course, I'm special. But then I realized I am not special at all. What I am good at right now is because I am experienced. I've been teaching for so many years. I've encountered so many challenges. I've dealt with a lot of difficult people in difficult situations. I've learned everything my way and in a hard way. So I know how to deal with that just because I have so many years of experience, not because I'm better than you. And I always told them that way that right now I can see you as a good teacher and you just need more experience. So for me, and that's when I also realized that people need to be encouraged to do certain things when they don't have experience. They need to start, they need to think about themselves. They should learn from other people. They should not compare themselves to other people. This is different, two different things. When you compare, you lose the sense of security. You start to become competitive. One day when you finally reach to the point you want, and then there's some people after you want to follow your steps, you don't consider that as a positive thing. You just think that would be a threat because you are competing with them. That's what you think about it. And then you will never be able to support your own people and to help them grow. I'm not saying that you have to, but that is a very unhealthy mindset that will make you feel so anxious all the time that you will cause yourself own mental health problems. So, if you are working in a competitive field or industry that you have to compete with other people, if you want to create this peaceful mindset to help you get through a competitive situation, find something to help you calm down. Find something to help you realize that you don't need to work hard for the results. You need to work hard for the progress. And when you see progress, even just a little one, you feel accomplished and you're not competing with other people. You're competing with yourself, the past you. When you see yourself get better, you feel better and you want to do more and you feel motivated. Once you have this very healthy soul or even healthy body to support you get through stressful situations or jobs or anything, you know you can do it. And then you forget about the competition. You forget about the whole thing. So that's what I learned from this video. And I really like it. I think it's worth mentioning that. I might talk too much. I haven't done talking like this for a very long time. Anyway, so this is what I want to say. I think that's pretty much everything. I do want to do one episode just to tell you guys I'm not forgetting you. I know this is a very short video. I really don't know what to talk about. The funny thing is, the more I read, the less I want to talk. I feel like I'm back to the high school time now. Books are my sanctuary, and I hide myself there. I love that kind of another world, and I'm a different person and I like the peace of quiet. And of course, I think more. When I think more, it's less likely for me to talk more. Sometimes I do need to shut up a little bit and I just really rethink what I want to say. Sometimes what I say is very shallow. Like today in this video, I'm sure it doesn't have any logic, no coherence, nothing. It's basically just a flow of my ideas. But I do want to share with you because I feel like it's worth mentioning and also it's a reminder for myself. Now, when I look at my video, I can remind myself when I feel competitive to something, to someone. Anyway, I do want to do a video of all my books, and I've bought a few books again. Some of I've already done, some I haven't. And I want to talk about how to pick a book you like and how to read it and those kind of things. But of course, it's going to be a big topic, and then it's probably going to involve quite a few steps to do so. So I do want to plan it really well and find a good time to present to you a very nice video, let's say more informative rather than this one. But I hope you like it and stay tuned for next one. Bye.